AITA for making my brother leave after he brought his kids to my child-free wedding? My wife and I got married days ago. We decided the wedding will be child-free. We thought this was the best option considering several factors from budget to keeping the order, etc. Everyone got an invitation, but my biggest concern was how my brother Ramsey 36 was going to react. Ramsey married young and has 4 kids that he takes everywhere he and his wife go. They're always there at every family event. The kids are grade A. Hyperactive to say the least. I gave Ramsey the invitation in person and he read it out loud in a sarcastic tone, then said, "Child free, huh?" I nodded and he got somewhat mad, saying, "Are you serious?" But my children never been excluded from any event big or small, let alone their own uncle's wedding. I said I'm sorry, but it's already been decided and everyone had to follow the rules, not just him. He stared off for a minute, then to my surprise he said, "I totally get it, man. No children means no children. No worries." I was glad he didn't start an argument over it and seemed to accept the rule. The day of the wedding came and Ramsey and his wife didn't show up until shortly before the ceremony began. My best man notified me that Ramsey had arrived and had all his kids with him. I was legit mad. I went to meet him at the entrance and saw he brought all his kids against me and my wife's wishes. I greeted the kids and asked my Sil to take them back to the car. He loudly asked WTF was wrong with me. I asked why he brought his kids and who said it was okay. He said no one, but he was planning on bringing the kids all along and figured that by initially agreeing to my rule, then showing up with the kids anyway would get me to agree on letting them stay. I stated this was no event for kids for many reasons and that everyone respected the rule except him. He complained about me disrespecting him and his kids since, again, he never attends any event without them. In his words, "Wherever I go, my kids follow. Period." I told him he needed to leave then. Not only did he call me a lunatic but a terrible brother and terrible uncle. He also called me a simp for agreeing to my wife's stupid rule, saying if that was him and his wife even hinted he couldn't have the family's kids at their wedding, he would have dropped her right there right then. It was humiliating and loud enough for the guests to notice. My in-laws did too. I told him to leave. That's when my mom and aunt tried to convince me to let it go and let them stay. But I refused and had him leave after a massive argument between us. To say that I felt absolutely shitty is an understatement. Everyone gave me grief ever since that incident and are siding with Ramsey, saying I wronged him and acted cold towards him and his kids when they showed up to celebrate me and my wife. My dad is especially pissed at me for potentially permanently fucking up my relationship with Ramsey, his wife and kids by kicking them out of my wedding. He quoted Ramsey, "Won't ever forget this day. AITA? You won't forget that day ever. It was the day your brother decided his wants were more important than your specific requests on your wedding day. Your brother explicitly told you his plan was to blatantly ignore your request to try and force you to just accept it. NTA. And tell your parents that if they keep supporting someone who deliberately tried to ruin your wedding, then they will have permanently fucked up their relationship with you. NTA. Your wedding. Your choice. Your brother tried to strong-arm you into letting his kids attend by lying about respecting your wishes and then showing up with his kids figuring that he would call your bluff and get his way. You did the right thing by standing your ground and insisting that he leave. If he truly felt disrespected by your child-free wedding, then he should have chosen not to attend. But he chose to make a scene instead. You have done nothing wrong here, and your family telling you that you should have given in to your brother's boundary stomping are also here. NTA. If you were my husband, you'd be getting so lucky by having my back like that. You said no kids well in advance. He tried to manipulate the situation and do what he wanted anyway. Then proceed to loudly insult and attempt to shame your wife on her wedding day. He's an ass. Good for you. NTA. He is the one who lied to your face. He is the one who tried to manipulate and bully you. He is the one who tried to ruin your wedding day. The only thing you should feel bad about is having sucky family members who are on his side. Really? His kids go wherever he goes. His sex life must be very interesting. NTA. NTA. He flat out lied. NTA. He didn't just disrespect the simple request. He went out of his way to deceive you about it. He was hoping you would let him bring the kids to avoid a scene. Everything about his behavior is terrible and you were right to ask him to leave. NTA. Your brother lied. Deliberately. Fully intending to bully his kids into your child-free event. The fact that your parents tried to enable this is not good. Is this how your family ordinarily behaves? Where your brother is the golden child and you the scapegoat? Even on your wedding day? ETA. By the way, good for you for standing up against your family to have the wedding as you and your wife intended. She is your nuclear family now. Ramsey and your parents are now extended family. NTA. And by calling you a simp for caring about your wife's desires and happiness. He's doubly ta. Your family's probably right. He will probably hold this against you and your wife until the end of time. But you're not wrong for standing your ground. And if you'd let him and his family stay, you would probably have to deal with further boundary stomping in the future. It's fine to be a where I go, my kids go kind of person, as long as you're aware that there will be some places you cannot go. By forcing the issue, he's due to have some people show him the door. And he shouldn't be surprised when it happens. NTA. And your brother can shove it for layering sexism on top of his entitlement. Ramsey placed his wife and children in an awkward situation. His behavior was manipulative. He was counting on you to look the other way. He is 100% at fault. He owes you and your wife an apology. Next time you and DW are invited to your parents' or brother's home, bring several unannounced guests with you. Modeling behavior back can be a real eye-opener for the offender. NTA. I would love to go to weddings that do not allow children so I can leave mine at home with the sitter. Geez dude, just respect people's wishes. NTA. He had plenty of time to get a sitter. We had a child-free wedding. And when we were invited to child-free weddings, now having a child, we had to decide if would attend the wedding or hire a sitter. We didn't get angry. He isn't an exception to the rules. He was rude. NTA. And you didn't fuck up the relationship your brother did when he decided to disregard your wishes for your wedding. Super sleazy of him to show up just before the wedding in an attempt to force you to allow his kids to stay. Him bringing his kids to all other events is not a reason that he gets to bring them to yours. NTA. It's your wedding. I'm assuming you're paying. And even if not, unless your brother paid, he has zero say in what happens on your wedding. If he thinks respecting his wife's wishes is being a simp, he is probably a terrible husband to begin with. Your family saying you're the is just them projecting on the fact that they let him be this old and entitled. The "how dare you acknowledge where we messed up with him" is not on you. It's on them. You didn't ruin any relationship. Your bro and fam is by pretending like you should have submitted because he blatantly disrespects You in your wedding? Makes zero sense. Please don't let them repetitively calling you an make you believe it. NTA. The kids weren't invited, and Ramsey tried to skirt a very simple request: not all events are kid-friendly. And that can include weddings. Ramsey cared more about having his way than he did about the fact that you were getting married. And I'm guessing this isn't the first time he's thrown his weight around and gotten the family to side with him. NTA. He should have respected the decision you made. I actually feel sad for you. That day is incredibly special and he ruined it for you. I can imagine the planning that went into it, and for you to feel not only disrespected and embarrassed at your own wedding is super unfortunate. I'm sorry your brother is no matter what, it is not his day. If his kids go everywhere he goes, as he says, he should have stayed home if it's that important they are with him at all times. That's just so wrong for him to do. Seriously. That day has the potential to only happen one time. NTA. I'm sure his wife is ecstatic to hear just how disposable she is to him. One difference of opinion and he'll drop her then and there. Your family sucks as well. NTA. NTA. I'm of the opinion that most well-parented children can and will rise to the expectations we place upon them. Clearly, your brother's kids are not well-parented. And it's no surprise they behave poorly. There's no consequences for them doing so. Sorry for the disruption. Weddings are stressful enough without family drama like that. Congrats. By the way.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic AITA is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.